this was some interesting spiciness.
I was gonna say a little spicy. Last minute spice. We didn't originally plan on talking about this, but
but apparently Patrick Willis has taken Colin Kaepernick, 2012 Colin Kaepernick, over Brock Purdy, which I thought was very interesting, very spicy. Obviously, Patrick Willis played with Colin Kaepernick in the Super Bowl and throughout all those NFC Championship games. But I thought that was very interesting. And Zach and I obviously have had our own opinions on Brock Purdy and that whole situation. But take a listen to what he had to say, because I thought this was very interesting. He was on the RG3 podcast as well. So just take a listen, and we'll react to this on the other side.
Replaced Alex Smith in 2012, and then of course Brock Purdy replaced Jimmy G, but it was the previous year. Both teams had a quarterback that had replaced the starter. Would you have taken Cap from 2012, or would you take Brock Purdy from 2023?
I'm gonna have to take Cap. A lot of people can go back and picnic like towards what it looked like, towards his last couple years or whatnot with the Niners, or his last year with the Niners. He did what he needed to do. It may not have been in a way that in a traditional quarterback throwing way, but man, you guys were something electrifying. But man, Purdy, that's a tough one, man. I love him 1A and 1B.
So that was RG3 and the Ones podcast there, having Patrick Willis on. I thought this was interesting. I'm going to say that I would be taking 2012 Colin Kaepernick too. That dude was special that year, and really just that those stretchy years. Brock Purdy has yet to really. People are going to go crazy when I say this. Brock Purdy has really yet to prove himself, and we saw that what happened when good defenses rattled him. But obviously the Ravens on Christmas Day, then in the Super Bowl, you can make the argument that he did well against the Lions, but I think the Lions beat themselves on the defensive side of the ball. We can have that conversation another time, but I'm taking Colin Kaepernick as well.
I think it's a situation where it's hard to not get excited when you like Colin Kaepernick's ability. I think Brandon talks about right here. Imagine this athleticism, because he says he could move. He was incredible in the open field. Imagine that athleticism with Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Like, it just would add such an insane next level to that offense. So I like how Patrick Willis played. It's like 1A, 1B. I'll say Kaepernick here just to make it more fun. I think we've seen Purdy do it, and I think it would be really cool, this offense, with just, we always talk about if like Lamar Jackson were to go to the 49ers and add that running quarterback type of aspect to a team. I think this would be something similar with the way he plays.
Yeah, I think, we talk about how people value stats sometimes a little too much in terms of everything. And look, Kaepernick only started 7 games that year, but obviously went on the run in the playoffs and looked really good doing it. And Purdy, I'm not saying that he didn't go on a run, but I think with the roster, and San Francisco in Kaepernick's year had a really good roster. Like, they had Frank Gore and Crabtree, and that was actually Randy Moss was on. That was like end of career.
Yeah, that was
Moss.
end of career. Moss.
But then you had guys like Vernon Davis and Willis and Navarro Bowman. That whole defense was really good. But the thing with Kaepernick is, if you're looking at what he did in his prime, I know it wasn't a very long prime. But I just think you replace Purdy with him. Again, not saying Purdy's a bad quarterback, but I just think I would love to have seen what that looked like, because with Kaepernick and McCaffrey in the same backfield, like it's almost like Lamar, Derrick Henry things. Like, you want to see it so badly. And like, obviously we have a realistic shot of potentially seeing Lamar and Derrick Henry. But with prime Kaepernick and what Christian McCaffrey's doing, you have Debo and Ayuk and Kittle, and all the offensive line, has some pieces on it at least.
Yeah.
I think he would be really, really good in that offense.
I think it would just be, like you said, it's just something you want to see. Like, Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel in like all their trickery by itself is awesome to watch. Then you add in an insane rushing threat at quarterback. That would be something cool for that's just entertainment.
Yeah. Plus, then we get into the conversation of Kaepernick and Greg Roman's offense versus Kyle Shanahan's offense, and what that would look like. I'd be interested to see what that would have been.
That is a fantastic. I didn't even think about that. That would, we did see Kaepernick in that. Greg Roman. Who knows? We've always said Greg Roman's offense kind of has a shelf life. After a few years, it seems like historically it's kind of done really well for 2 years, then it starts to kind of fall off. So maybe that had something to do with Kaepernick's play starting to decline towards the end.